Welcome. You're listening to the I'm Wired to Inspire podcast, creatively engineered by Nicole, the inspiration specialist. I'm Wired to Inspire is a powerfully packed podcast filled with inspiration and encouragement to get you through your day. It's designed to inspire you to live your authentic purpose. Now, stay tuned for your host, Nicole, the inspiration specialist, on today's episode of I'm Wired to Inspire.
Hey everyone, and thank you so much for joining me today on my podcast. We are wrapping up this week, and I hope you guys had a fantastic week. So many things happened for me personally, spiritually. I've gotten a lot of revelation. I've been digging deep. I've been able to pray for a lot of people and get a lot of requests in there. And y'all, if you ever hear me and you have prayer requests, please email me. You can email me at podcast@imwiredtoinspire.com, and I will get to those prayer requests for you. Sometimes I check DMs, sometimes I don't. Sometimes I flash and it'll say seen, but I really haven't read the content. I'm just telling y'all because it's a lot going on. Sometimes I catch it, sometimes I forget. Sometimes people think I ignore them. I can be right in the middle of a long text and forget to text the person back. So I say all that to say, please, you are more than welcome. And I actually think I have an email address, prayers@imwiredtoinspire.com. So you can actually do both of those. So do info or prayers at either one and you'll be fine. But with that being said, y'all, another quick word today. I want to talk to you guys about, again, y'all know we've been having themes. So this is very thematic. We've been, talking about the same things and they've been piggybacking off of each other every day, kind of telling the whole story, right? So as you guys know, last week we were talking about waiting gracefully. That was the new epiphany God had given me beyond impatience. It's like, okay, Robin, you were impatient, honey. Now you got to learn how to wait gracefully. So if you listen to yesterday's episode, I hope you did. If not, go back and check it out. It's called No 20. Neaux, which is no in French. I'm from New Orleans, so we put an EAUX on everything because it sounds like O. So NO20, and it's basically saying I asked God for a prayer request to be answered in 24 hours. He took 20 hours off of it and gave it to me in 2. So I just called it No 20. I don't know why I did, but that's what it is. So check that out. And I loosely mentioned that I was going to be talking about this today. So I think it'll be good if you listen to yesterday's. It's only about 11 minutes, and you'll have more insight as to how I got to what I'm talking about today. So basically, I am referring to how I realized, okay, God, this is great. I'm waiting gracefully, right? Then all of a sudden I realized, okay, now am I wasting my time? Because you see, when you go from being impatient, that's an extremely humbling experience. Okay. And then so you realize, you say, okay, I cannot be antsy. I can't be impatient. I'm going to have to go ahead and approach this the way God wants me to approach it. Right. So this is where my mindset was. So I went on to this next phase, y'all, and I started waiting gracefully. Do you all see how the acceleration, I talked about acceleration yesterday as well. Things happen very, very quickly, right? Very quickly. So once God had put me in that place of understanding the waiting gracefully, things just started rising up in me and a situation came up and I'm like, oh my God, like I started becoming frantic. And like I told you guys yesterday, I wasn't confused. I just wasn't sure if God wanted me to continue, because this is what happens. Let's take a situation. Let's say it's a job. Let's just use that. And you were very impatient. You wanted to be promoted quickly and you were just getting very disgusted, very agitated on the whole situation, right? Well, then God gives you an epiphany. Hey, listen, you have to wait gracefully. You are impatient. You are annoyed. You need to just chill and pump your brakes and just let me be who I'm going to be for you. And then we're going to let this subside. Just chill. So then you begin to woosah. You begin to take a good old deep breath, right? Yeah. And then you say, okay, God, I got you. I'm a chill. So now all of a sudden the impatience goes away. You're not checking every 5 minutes to see if you're going up the leaderboard. You're not trying to find out from this one and that one, Becky and James and Jim, and asking everybody, hey, what the boss say? You're done with all of that, right? Okay. But now you're sitting there and you're waiting gracefully and there's no movement. In fact, it seems like the promotion that you're waiting for is about to go to someone else, right? And that's when the antsiness comes up and you go from waiting gracefully to asking God, hey, I know I'm not impatient anymore. It's all good. I've been waiting gracefully, but how do I know that now I am not wasting my time? Because I've gotten in such a peaceful space of just waiting for things to happen. And y'all, when I say waiting gracefully, let me expound on that just a little bit. It's not just wasting your time doing nothing. But when you are waiting gracefully, you are serving while you wait. You have a full card. You have many things that you have to do. You are focused on the Father. That is what waiting gracefully is. You are not focused on the man. You're not focused on the woman. You're not focused on the money, on the job. You're just focused on whatever directive God gives you every day. You wake up and say, God, how can I serve you? What is it that you want me to do? Do I need to work more on being teachable and coachable? If you missed that, listen to last week's episode about cut the fat. And I use acronym FAT, and I think it's focus, it's pay attention, and T is teachable, FAT. You have to cut the fat. So these are all things that I was able to ascertain throughout this process. So with that being said, I said, God, you know what? I don't really think that I need to be waiting like this no more. Like, I'm not impatient and I'm not tripping about it, but why would I be waiting gracefully for this? And these people are not going to give me this job. They look like they over there courting this person. They over there, they looking at this one resume. They talking to that like, oh, child, like they not really paying me no mind. Like they pop in my office every now and again and be like, hey, great job, buddy. Give me like 5 or 10 minutes. But then you look out, you see they all over the place hollering at all the other people trying to see if they got a job or not. Trying to see if, you're going to give them a job or not. And so if you're made privy to these types of things in your process of waiting gracefully, of course, you're going to come back and say, you know what? I must be wasting my time. And therein lies the antsiness. That's where the 24-hour prayer came in for me yesterday, because I realized, I was like, you know what? This ain't the move for your girl. This is not the move for Robin. Oh, no, sir. This ain't the move. Because I'm sitting there like, okay, so I get waiting gracefully. That's cute and all, but this don't look like this about to turn in my favor. So God, I need you to let me know and make it plain to me. Am I wasting my time? Y'all, this is why I tell you, pray about everything. Lift everything up to the Lord. You want to know why? I was in that very quandary yesterday, and that's what I was asking God about. And you know what he did? He said, nah. He said, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to make this plain for you. But not only am I going to make it plain for you, but I'm going to set this thing up in such a way where when you ask me about this particular situation, I'm going to hit you over the head with the actual factuals so hard that you are going to know that this is nobody but me. I don't care what it looks like. I don't care what you feel like. I don't care what your ego is saying. Robin, this ain't the move for you. I told you what it is. You have to continue to wait gracefully. And that is the end of that. Now, let me tell y'all something. If I was in a situation and that was not what he wanted, you know what God would have told me? He would have said, you're wasting your time. Pack up and keep it moving. That's what he would have told me. But that's not what he did. So my point to you is this. Whatever the outcome was going to be, he was going to tell me either way, because I made sure I sought him for the answer. That is what I made sure of. So for those of you who are listening, for those of you who you may be in that space of, okay, Lord, I get it. I was impatient. You might have listened last week and maybe you applied some of the stuff and you recognized too, maybe you were impatient. And let's say you graduated to the waiting gracefully part. And now you're in a situation where you're like, okay, Lord, I don't know now. I actually don't know if I am wasting my time now. I was so impatient before, like just trying to get an answer. I was coasting. Like I ain't worrying about waiting gracefully or none of that or wasting time, because I want what I want when I want. Just like I said what I said. So you don't even care. You got your eye on the prize. And then once the Lord destroys all of that, and now you're like, okay, I'm going to chill. I'm going to serve. I'm going to pay attention to you, Lord. And then you're like, okay, Lord, I've been serving and chilling for a little while now. Hold up. Now am I wasting my time? And then your mind goes there. And trust me, there have been times where I know God has had to pull me out of things because they became a big time suck. Every time you look, I'm wasting my time on somebody or something, and they're not doing the same for me. they're not giving me that same honor. They're not giving me that same respect. So I say to you all, seek the Lord. If you are in a situation and there's a question mark, not necessarily confusion, it could be, but if it's not confusion and it's just, okay, Lord, I don't know if I should stay or go. This feels comfortable. I don't know. It is a simple prayer. Lord, please make it plain to me. Remove the scales off my eyes. Give me the confirmation. Reveal it in your word. You say that you will give me the desires of my heart, and the desire of my heart is to know what I am to do at this point. You call it out. You said, Lord, I am no longer impatient. I am now waiting gracefully, but Lord, I am beginning to wonder if I am wasting my time. Is this a situation where I'm to wait gracefully, or is this a situation where I am to remove myself and move on? Y'all, you have the power to ask that of God, and he will do it for you. So please be encouraged. Seek the Lord, seek your word, seek his word, and let him tell you exactly what it is that you need to do. I'm wired to inspire. I hope you are too.
Thanks for listening to I'm Wired to Inspire podcast at I'mWiredToInspire.com. If you enjoyed the show, spread the word and be sure to hit the 5-star rating on iTunes. For more information on this podcast and inspirational products and services, log on to I'mWiredToInspire.com. And remember to live your authentic purpose. Thanks again, and see you next time.